Good morning, everyone. Okay, we'll continue our book reading this morning, The Toyota Way to Service Excellence by Chpt, Leica, and Karen Ross. Yesterday, we finished chapter 2, talking about the Toyota Way continues to evolve. We looked at their vision to continue to pursue excellence. We looked at excellence in marketing, sales and marketing. We also looked at excellence in how they manage people using the 4 P's, which are philosophy, processes, people, and problem solving. Today on chapter 3, we'll continue from there on page 55, which says Principle 1, Philosophy of Long-Term Thinking System. Remember in chapter 2, we told us that philosophy is a long-term thinking, focused. It's not focused on short term, it's focused on long term to contribute to know or learn how to contribute to the society and also work towards giving out or delivering a better customer or an excellent customer service. So today in chapter 3, still principle 1, we'll be looking at philosophy of the long-term system thinking. He said we want organizations to be adaptive, flexible, self-renewing, resilient, learning, intelligent, attributes found only in living systems. The tensions of our time is that we want our organizations to behave as living systems, but we only know how to treat them as machines. Margaret J. Whitley, Finding Our Way, Leadership for an Uncertain Time. That's the author of the quote. So philosophy is the moral compass of the organization. In 1992, I was co-directing the Japan Technology Management Program at the University of Michigan to stand and transfer knowledge from Japan to the United States. We were obliged to share what we were learning through our research. So I organized a one-day conference for our funded researchers to present their findings. Each academic compared USA practices to Japan practices in his or her area of expertise, e.g., electronics industry, corporate strategy, supply chain management. Unbeknown to me, one of the leading TPS experts in Toyota was in an audience quietly taking everything in. At the end of the day, he introduced himself to me and said, "Interesting presentation, but you were missing the management philosophy. In the future, I recommend you add more discussions of philosophy." He then graciously excused himself. At that time, I was madly offended that he did not appreciate all the great data and observation presented. Later on reflection, I realized we had presented a hodgepodge of lousy related academic presentation, and he was absolutely right. I often reflect on that simple observation about philosophy. Why is it a conservative nuts and bolts manufacturing company so obsessed with philosophy? Philosophy has been defined as a system of principles for guidance in practical affairs. I think of it as a moral compass of the company. What do we stand for? Why do we exist? How is our existence making the world a better place? How will we as an institute behave in the world? The Toyota Way 2001 documents are one way of formalizing the underlying philosophy of the company. The founder, chairman, and CEO of Four Seasons, Isadore Sharp, entitled his book Four Seasons, The Story of a Business Philosophy. His goal was quite simple: to build the world's best hotel company. His conclusion was that the only path to accomplishing this was to stand out among global hotels for exceptional service throughout the customer's eyes. He further observed that he needed to get it down to the front line. Clerks, bell staff, bartender, waitress, cooks rather, housekeepers and dishwashers. The lowest paid and in the most companies least motivated people, but the one who would make or break a five-star service reputation. He pulled together his general managers and explained that none of them can directly affect the customer experience. They are completely dependent on their junior employee. He then gave them both the philosophy and the challenges in one statement. This is going to be your managerial challenge, reaching our goal of being the best down to the bottom of the pyramid, motivating our lowest paid people to act on their own, to see themselves not as routine functionaries, but as company facilitators, creating our own customer base. As we saw in the last chapter, to put a philosophy into practice requires socializing all members until the principle becomes a way of thinking and acting, and it is a never-ending process. Every exceptional story that I have heard about the first season, the unbelievable service that shocks new customers involve an encounter with frontline employees. I randomly selected a 4 seasons in London and found it rated 5-star based on 614 customer reviews on TripAdvisor. Customer statements include food service, attention to details throughout is fantastic. I must give a special mention to Veronica, who served dinner with grace and enthusiasm. Also, James in concierge, top man, and to Annabelle and Caroline, you are stars. Everyone is very helpful, but the best service is provided by the concierge staff. They are unbelievable. The service was practically excellent. A special mention goes to Nate, my waiter. He was brilliant. The staff was friendly and super attentive to details, and all had excellent name recall. It felt like I was coming home each day. Hotel staff is amongst the best I have encountered anywhere in the world. The arrival experience is fantastically welcoming, and we never have to wait to check into our room, even when an overnight flight gets in early. So this is where we'll stop for our reading today. Talking about philosophy. He gives an example of a 4-star hotel to describe what philosophy really is. It says philosophy has been defined as a system of principles for guidance in practical affairs. It is seen as a moral compass that helps a company know where to stand, what to do things, how to communicate with their customers. First of all, you have to ask yourself questions. You have to know what your company stands for, why your company exists, and how are they going to make the world better. Four Seasons Hotel was able to define what they want and why they existed as a hotel. That's why they were able to deliver excellent services to their customers in every sector and industry in that hotel. Whether you as a waiter, whether you're a waiter, you're a cook, you're a doorman or a cleaner, or whatever you are, they made that philosophy into a standard that anyone that gets to lodge in the hotel has something exciting to say about the experience they had. So that is what it means to have philosophy. So philosophy, like I said before in our previous chapter, it is not a short-term thinking, it's a long-term thinking. It is something that makes you ask questions. How do you improve every day? How do you create excellent customer service? What and what do you do to change the kind of services you're providing, or to make your products the best that stand out among other products in the market or in the society. So that is what it's trying to let us know in our book today. So this is your stop for our reading today. Thank you.